Hey, good morning. This is May Valensky with Driving Markets. Driving while talking about markets. Hope you're all well. Anything said in this piece is for media publication, not financial advice or investment advice, just to give you an overall flavor, a wrap of financial markets, whether it's FX, whether it's cryptos, whether it's shares, whether it's bonds or commodities, precious metals, etc., etc. Let's kick off. So the concern over the weekend and yesterday was to do with China. There's been a lot of unrest in China. Now the basis of that unrest is the lockdowns. The people essentially have had enough of the lockdowns in China, and it's frustrated everyone financially and businesses, etc., etc., and therefore the people went to the street and started rioting, and that's caused a lot of concern in financial markets. Now, the reason why they're rioting is because China has a zero tolerance policy on COVID. So anytime there is a slight COVID spike or reports of COVID, then they lock down the whole province. Remember, the whole province could be 80 million people, 100 million people, which is fine, but as far as global economics is concerned, it has a massive impact because those provinces are producing huge amounts of material or goods for Apple, for Tesla, for Amazon, or bathrooms, or any other type of building material. Anything that is produced globally or exported globally, most of it comes from, or a lot of it comes from China. So when there is a lockdown, that has a big impact on delivery. Now we're just going up to the holiday period, the Christmas period, and this is an essential time when obviously wholesalers, suppliers, producers and retailers want to receive their goods in order that the consumer will be able to have those goods to purchase on the shelves in the supermarkets or the stores or the warehouses. However, the concern is that that supply line now is going to be frustrated on two reasons. One, because of the lockdown, and two, because of the riots. As a result of that, Chinese Hong Kong market fell yesterday, and that pushed onto the US markets and European markets, where the Dow was down 500 points, the Nasdaq was down 172 points, and crypto fell and the dollar gained in strength. Remember, the dollar gains in strength when equity markets fall or there is nervousness within the global economic scheme. People run to buy the dollar. So the dollar actually fell against the pound, the euro, other currencies, but not so much the yen, which is interesting enough. Going on to a bit of further macroeconomics, John Williams of the Fed said that the Fed could see interest rates coming down in 2024. There is a possibility. I don't have an opinion on that because there's not enough economic data. Let's see how 2023 goes, where even though I expect 2023 to have rising interest rates, I don't think there's going to be a lull in the interest rate spike or interest rate cycle up until probably mid-July 2023. I expect interest rates in the States to go to around about 7%. Cryptocurrencies, which is a big popular one, again, Bitcoin is under pressure. Obviously came off yesterday with the concerns of an economic crisis or China crisis, anything to do with high risk, then Bitcoins and cryptos are sold off. I keep saying Bitcoin is going to go down below 15,000. Hasn't got there yet. It has approached it, but I'm still of the opinion by the end of the year that Bitcoin is going to be below 15,000. That's my opinion regarding Bitcoin. Regarding dollar, even though there's a bit of dollar weakness yesterday, unless there is a further significant drop in equity markets, I expect the dollar to be more or less stable or rising against other currencies. But who knows, with everything changing on a daily basis here, you never know where we're going to be. But my view is that there will be a bit more dollar strength when it comes to the foreign exchange markets. One of the biggest impacted shares on the China crisis is Apple, because Apple produces its iPhones in China, and there was concerns about the iPhone 14, the production. The biggest threat to Apple actually is not China. I think it's actually Elon Musk, because if Elon Musk comes into the mobile phone arena, being a far more dynamic CEO and leader than any other CEO, especially that of Apple, then he's going to take over and take significant amount of business away from Apple and Android. Focusing a little bit on Apple, I'm very negative on Apple because I've said over and over again that they're not innovative and they simply just don't produce the new innovation. I mean, people say, oh yeah, what about the new phone? Well, the new phone is just a redesign, it's a restyling of the existing phone, so it's not really innovative. Yeah, they brought out AirPods, but what's AirPods? AirPods is really a Bluetooth earphone device. The Bluetooth's already been out there for years, and they just designed the AirPods with a bit of sound cutting, so you don't hear all the surround sound, etc. So there's not really brought out any innovative of it. Even a Apple Watch is not so innovative because it's just based on the Apple program, and it's a watch. It's a small Apple they wear on your wrist. So there's nothing there. However, Elon Musk, who is innovative, will bring out something that will beat Apple and Android, and especially Apple. So Apple is going to go down. It's going to go down, not in the next month or 2 months. It might go down to 130, 120. I'm calling it down to below $100 by January, February time. I don't think they're going to do the sales, but if Elon Musk gets involved, you could see Apple being absolutely slaughtered. So that's something to keep an eye on as regards the mobile phone industry. Also, Amazon is going to be under pressure, especially of the China crisis, because obviously Amazon gets a lot of its goods from China. So that's going to have a big impact on Amazon itself. Bonds didn't move yesterday that much, so more or less the 10-year treasury is running at 3.7%, 3.70%, and so it's quite stable there, and that's giving a bit of stability to the market, which is a good thing. There's not really a lot going to happen up until the holidays. I expect the markets to rally again, the equity markets to rally again all the way through to the end of December. Then January will be the big litmus test as to where we're going within these financial markets, and are we going to go up or are we going to go down? I'm calling them down because I've been calling them down non-stop, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I believe we're in for a significant downturn as far as equity markets are concerned, and especially cryptos, specifically Bitcoin, calling it down there. That's more or less it. I haven't really got much else to say. This Friday you've got the non-farm payrolls. Don't forget that. They're the unemployment numbers in the US. That's a big one to follow. Expecting 210,000 new jobs created. That's more or less it. You can subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, or even on TikTok. Pass comments. Happy to hear from you. Have a good day.